The night was electric. Fans packed the massive stadium, their excitement buzzing through the air like static. The lights dimmed, and a deafening roar erupted as Taylor Swift stepped onto the stage, guitar in hand, her signature smile lighting up the arena. 4 hours, she had given her audience everything. Hit after hit, flawless vocals, and heartfelt moments that made the night unforgettable. But none of them could have predicted what was about to happen next. It was midway through her set when Taylor suddenly stopped strumming. The crowd, still swaying to the last notes, grew quiet, sensing something was different. She stepped back from the microphone, took a deep breath, and looked out into the thousands of faces before her. Her expression had shifted from excitement to something more solemn. You could see it in her eyes. She was carrying something heavy. In the silence, Taylor began to speak, her voice softer now. She told the audience she had been thinking about someone very special, someone who had inspired her for years, even though they came from 2 very different worlds. She spoke of kindness, grace, and quiet strength. Then she said her name, Princess Catherine. The crowd reacted instantly, gasps, murmurs, and even a few cheers of support. Taylor went on to share how she, like so many others around the world, had been following news of Catherine's recent health challenges. Her voice trembled slightly as she talked about how deeply moved she'd been by the princess's resilience and the way she continued to carry herself with dignity in the face of personal struggles. She said Catherine had always been a symbol of hope and inspiration, not only for the people of the United Kingdom, but for anyone who admired courage and compassion. The audience was silent now, hanging on every word. Even in the farthest rows, people leaned forward as if to catch the smallest nuance in her tone. Taylor said she wanted to dedicate the next song to Catherine, a song she had never performed live before. She explained that it was written in a quiet moment, while reflecting on the people in our lives who lift us up even when we've never met them. The stage lights shifted to a soft golden glow, and a single spotlight shone down on her as she began to play. The first chords were gentle, almost like a whisper. Her voice, rich and full of emotion, filled the space. The lyrics spoke of strength in the face of uncertainty, of finding light in the darkest hours, of knowing that somewhere out there, someone is rooting for you with all their heart. It didn't take long before you could hear sniffles throughout the stadium. People were wiping their eyes, holding on to the hands of friends or loved ones. Some fans simply closed their eyes and let the music wash over them. Taylor herself seemed deeply moved. Her eyes glistened under the stage lights, and at one point, her voice caught slightly before she took a deep breath and carried on. When she reached the chorus, her voice swelled with emotion. It was a promise, a message of love and encouragement for Catherine, but also for anyone going through a difficult time. She sang as though the princess herself was sitting in the front row. The screen behind her displayed soft, ethereal images of a sunrise over rolling hills, a symbolic message of hope and renewal. By the final verse, the entire stadium was swaying together. People were singing along, even though it was the first time they had heard the song. It wasn't just a performance. It was a shared moment of empathy and unity. For a brief few minutes, thousands of strangers were connected by the same wave of emotion, thinking about someone they'd never met but all admired. When the song ended, Taylor let the final chord linger in the air. She lowered her guitar and simply stood there, taking in the quiet, the kind of silence that is rare in a place designed for noise. Then, slowly, the audience erupted into applause, not the wild, frenzied kind you hear after a hit single, but something deeper, more meaningful. Many people were on their feet, clapping through tears. Taylor wiped her eyes with the back of her hand, smiling softly as she thanked the crowd. She said that music has a way of carrying love and prayers farther than we can imagine, and she hoped this song would reach Catherine wherever she was. She wished her strength, peace, and all the healing in the world. Backstage later, clips of the performance began flooding social media. Fans posted shaky phone videos with captions like, "Taylor made the whole stadium cry tonight," and "A beautiful tribute to Princess Catherine." Hashtags like #Taylor Swift, #Princess Catherine, and #Tribute Song began trending within minutes. Even people who hadn't been at the concert felt the emotion, as the video spread from fan pages to mainstream news outlets. Comment sections filled up with heartfelt messages. Some fans shared their own stories of dealing with illness or supporting loved ones through difficult times. Others simply wrote, "We're all with you, Catherine." The tribute had tapped into something universal, a reminder that compassion and empathy still had the power to unite people from all walks of life. Within hours, international headlines picked up the story. Photos of Taylor's tearful performance were splashed across entertainment and news websites. Royal watchers praised her for bringing attention to Catherine's quiet battle, while music critics hailed the moment as one of the most genuine, moving gestures of her career. In the days that followed, there were whispers that Catherine herself had heard about the performance. Though no official statement came right away, insiders close to the royal family hinted that she had been touched by the outpouring of love and support. Some even claimed she had watched a recording of the moment and had been visibly moved. Fans began asking if Taylor would release the song officially. There was speculation about whether it would be included on an upcoming album or made available as a charity single to support causes close to Catherine's heart. Taylor remained coy, only saying in an interview that some songs are meant to live in a single moment. But whether it was ever released didn't matter. For those who were in that stadium, and for the millions who would later watch the tribute online, the song had already done its job. It had reminded people of the simple but powerful truth that even in a world that often feels divided, moments of shared humanity still exist. And somewhere, away from the flashing cameras and noise of the world, a princess who had been facing her own private battles knew that a superstar halfway across the world had stopped everything just to send her love, hope, and a little bit of light. That night would be remembered not for the size of the crowd or the scale of the production, but for the quiet, tender moment when music and compassion met, and thousands of hearts beat as one.